Today's session agenda is, first of all, we need to understand the need of programming. Okay, I mean, what is the main purpose of this programming, like programming languages like Python or Java or anything, whatever it is, and what are the companies using Python, and in which areas, especially this Python is used. These three topics today I'm going to discuss. Okay, so let me first explain before going to enter into Python and to discuss about who developed Python, in which year, all those things we'll discuss it later. So first of all, let me explain um, need of programming. Okay, so generally programming means what? Why we need programming? Let's take some few scenarios. I will explain you. Say example, take me. I'm Bindu, a trainer. I just want to create a website where I'm taking so many courses, right? Online trainings I'm providing, right? Not only Java, Python, C, C++, data structures, database, Oracle, like no Selenium, like that. So many for so many courses, I'm providing training. So now I decided, okay, I want to create a website where I have to shoot all the videos. I mean, just now I started recording, right? Like that, I have to record all the videos, and I have to edit the courses, means I need to add the syllabus, notes, documentation, everyday topics, documentation, everything. I have to merge it in a single place, and I have to create. I want to create a website. Generally, what I will do, I will just shoot or video all the courses and edit the courses for the website. Generally, I will do all these tasks manually. Okay. So when I am preparing this course or when I am preparing this website, what happens exactly is I may create different type of files, like video files. Because this is a demo session. Uh, Sometimes I'll be seeing this chat box. Okay, Ujjwal. Okay, good. Okay, fine. So when I am creating this website, right? When I am preparing the website for all these courses, right? So I may create different type of files. I may deal with different type of files. Like, no, I started recording our class. This is a video file, right? Sometimes in WhatsApp, when you ask some questions or doubts, when you write some doubts, I'll be sending some audio messages also, audio files. Okay, I may deal with audio files, I may deal with video files, or sometimes some motion graphics too. Okay, and because I'm taking I'm giving training for different courses, I may need to create a different set of folders to organize all these materials, like no video files, audio files, documentation, everything. I need to create a set of different folders, and by course I need to separate, by chapters I need to separate, and by type of files also I need to separate. Means for video files I need to create one folder, for audio files one folder, by course one folder, documentation purpose, like that. No, for everything I need to do it in a separate folders, that I'll do it manually. Okay, that may take lot of time will be wasted, right? Because I'm creating all these folders manually, it will takes a lot of time. So that's why I decided, okay, no, this is a very time consuming task. I have a lot of work. I need to prepare and I have to take the classes. Meanwhile, I need to do all these things, right? So that's why I decided, okay, now I just want to automate this task where it will save my lot of time. That is one scenario. Okay. Take another scenario. All of you guys are working in different domains. Okay. So like banking domain, hospital, like that, so many in the different domains you guys are working. So, and some fresher students are also there. Okay. Take another scenario. When say example, nowadays COVID-19 hospitals are very busy now, right? So, say example, take one receptionist in the Apollo hospital or somewhere. What she will do generally, she is very vexed about creating all these reports and everything to create the hard copies. Some years back, no, the receptionist, she has to get the details from the doctors, okay, and she has to give the hard copy of the report to the patients every time. Some hundreds of patients, people, outpatients and inpatients will come to the hospital every time. So this receptionist and some other people has to work manually, like they have to create the hard copies, they have to give the hard copies of the reports to the patients. That's a very time consuming task, and sometimes it may lead to confusion also to other people, right? So that's why uh, this receptionist or some hospital management, they wants to create a software where, so generally in India, no, so to identify a particular person, we have a Aadhaar card, isn't it? So that's a identity, one of the identity in India, right? So what this hospital people decided is they just want to develop a software where they will link that Aadhaar card number to the patient's report. Whenever one patient comes, right, no, what she will do, what the receptionist will do, she will ask for the Aadhaar card number. Okay, once they provide the Aadhaar card number, so because it will be linked to the patient's report now. Once this receptionist enters that Aadhaar card number in that software, automatically the software will generate the report of that particular patient, and that will be taken as a printout and they will be giving to the patient. It makes our work simpler, isn't it? This is one scenario. Coming to our first thing, as a trainer, I decided, I have, see, I decided, okay, I want to learn one programming language. Either it is Java or Python, anything, whatever it is. I have to learn program, I have to design one software which will automatically do my task. Like it has to create the folders, courses, it has to separate the courses with audio files, video files, documentation, everything, right? So these are the two scenarios, generally use cases. So where the programming is very important. Okay. So the main motto of this programming is we can develop applications, we can develop games, right? And because of using this programming, it will automate most of the tasks, which will, whatever the things will take more time, right, will consume more time, right, it will automate all those tasks, and it will provide a good environment, okay, for us to develop, and some it will be using, see, by real-time algorithms, right? We can develop a real-time algorithms. So nowadays you are seeing like artificial intelligence, machine learning, everything. Okay, and sometimes, no, see, when you go to the some government offices, they will be maintaining some track of historic record, right? Some years back, if I want to get my date of birth certificate when I go to the government office, right, automatically they will be giving my date of birth details and everything. Yes, how is it possible? See, manually, if you want to maintain all those, it becomes a very difficult task. They have to maintain some folders year wise, month wise, like that. But whereas when you come to the programming and when you develop a software to, so see, in that software, you will automatically merge all these data, historic data, and you can analyze it, isn't it? Right? So whenever you type the year, automatically whoever born in that month, that details you will get it. So this everything is possible, and it will provide a better experience for the end users to use, right? So these are all the different advantages of using this programming languages. Got it? Understood, everyone? Right? So you can use the chat box for when I ask like no understood or something like that, right? You can use the chat box there. You can type it. And one more thing is some more examples I'll tell you about programming, and then I'll go for companies using Python. Okay, so today's topic is these three only because so many people miss today's sessions. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, also we'll take demo sessions. Okay, so 3 days demo sessions. I said only 2 days, right? Now we'll take 3 days sessions. And let me give some more examples. And if there is no computer programs or computer programming languages, what are the problems? And with the computer programming languages, how they resolved. The first example I'll tell you. I just want to send a letter to you guys. Say example, if you are staying in India in different cities, right? Generally, if there is no programming concept, assume that, okay, it may take 3 to 4 days. If I want to send a letter to US, to Richmond people or some other place, it may take some 10 days or 15 days time to send a letter to communicate with other guys. And it will cost more money also, right? So, and coming to the one more example is railway tickets or bus tickets. If I want to book a railway tickets or bus tickets, so what we have to do, we have to go for the railway station or the bus station. We have to stand in a long queues. We have to reserve tickets. Once that station quota gets completed, right? Even though some seats are there in other station, also they can't allocate, and we have to go for some other day to book the tickets. It's a very time consuming task, and very difficult for the people, right? And one more example is money. We have to send money. Say example, you so many freshers are here. Right now, for them, their parents wants to send money for paying tuition fees or a hostel fees or something for their pocket money like that. So how they will send, generally, if there is no computer programs or softwares or something like that, they have to, their parents will have to go to the bank for the submission of DD or check, and it will be posted by, uh, uh, they will post that DD to the student, and student has to submit it to the bank, and then later they have to fill the withdrawal form, and then they'll be they can withdraw the money from the bank, right? And they have to show the passbook too, right? And coming to the engineering colleges, some other, right? So no, seat allocation. How the seat allocation? Actually, when I was in MCA, so I have went to counseling center which is very far from my town. I waited for hours and hours for my turn, right? And they know once I entering into the counseling room, right now for taking the decision, they'll be giving just 5 minutes of timer. Okay, and we need to select the branch and we need to select the college and everything. And we can't even that time I don't have phone too. So I have to take the decision. I have to take my father and my decision. So now, see, no, that's very difficult. Got it? These are all the scenarios, 4 scenarios I explained. Without the programming, these are all the problems the people are facing. Coming to the programming, with the computers, programs or softwares or programming languages, what happens? If I want to send a letter within a fraction of seconds, see, just now I joined for the class. I sent a message in our broadcast group, right? So, are you guys joining for today's Python demo session? Okay, yeah, you got the message and you joined within a fraction of seconds, isn't it? How fast it is? How is it possible? WhatsApp. Okay, how they developed WhatsApp? Because of using this type of programming languages only, no? Right? That's the first thing. Coming to the second, you can book tickets, railway tickets or bus tickets or flight tickets, whatever it is, wherever, from wherever you want, anywhere you can sit at home and you can book tickets, whatever you want. That's possible because of programming only. Coming to the money transfer, right? It's very easy nowadays to instant money transfer, and we can withdraw the money from the ATM, no need to go for the bank. And nowadays, no one is going for ATM to everything is digitalized, isn't it? Within a fraction of seconds, you can get the money. So many apps are there like Google Pay, Phone Pay. Okay, like this, no, so many possibilities. How is it possible? Because of programming only. And now seat allocation, we have lot of time now to research for the colleges to decide which college is best, which branch is best, and we can review with multiple people. I can discuss with my friends, family members, and others too by sitting at home itself, and I can select multiple options. And whichever the college, I can select the options priority wise. I can select the colleges, and based on my rank and my marks and everything, no, I may getting the college details, and it will be sent to my mail. No need to go for counseling centers, no need to wait for long hours. Okay, nothing like that. This programming makes our daily routine life becomes easier, isn't it or not? Yes. So this is what the actual need of a programming. Got it? So whatever I'm explaining here in the demo sessions too, I'll send a documentation for you. Everything, every pinpoint, no need to make a note of anything. Okay, you happily sit and listen what I am saying. Everything I'll send you as a documentation. Okay, and so many programming languages are there nowadays, right? Lot of programming languages like C, C++, HTML, Python, Scala, Groovy, Java, PHP. Okay, so many languages are there. So now today's topic is Python. Okay, so let me give some details about the Python. Actually, no, this Python is a general purpose, interpreted, interactive, object-oriented, functional, high-level programming language. Bindu, you have given a very big definition for Python. General purpose, interpreted, interactive, object-oriented, high-level, functional programming language like that. Okay, generally, I will take each and every point here. Okay, general purpose, meaning everything I will explain it to you very clearly. Okay, so let me complete our session agenda today. Then we will further go into the topic. Okay, so this is a functional general purpose, high level, object oriented, and functional programming language. Just what callers remember this point. Next, I will explain very clearly about that. Okay. So this Python was created by, developed by Guido van Rossum. Okay. So the scientist name is Guido van Rossum. Okay. During 1985 to 1990s, early 1990s, actually, no, this Guido van Rossum developed this Python programming language. Okay, that Python name came from not from dangerous snake or something like that. Actually, by that time, one Monty Python circus. Okay, so that circus name, no, Monty Python, that name with circus will be there. That name that scientist has taken, Guido van Rossum. Okay, so coming to the Python, generally, why Python? Okay, what are the companies using this Python? First of all, see there in my screen, I have mentioned all. Okay, so first one is which company? So many companies are using this Python. So the first thing is YouTube. YouTube video sharing service. uh, So that sharing system is largely, so entire thing is written in Python. Most of the code is written in Python. And Google. So this for web search, we will be searching, no, in Google search. So that will be extensively used. That Google will use this Python for making the extensive use of web searching. Okay, and Dropbox storage service. Okay, public storage service. No, so that server and client software. No, Dropbox server and client software. That coding is primarily done in Python generally. Raspberry Pi. So this Raspberry Pi single board computer, right? It will promote Python as its educational programming language. Coming to the BitTorrent file sharing. So that also uses Python. NASA also uses Python for specific programming tasks. Okay. And for cryptography and intelligence analysis, like artificial intelligence. Got it? So there also will be using the Python. And Netflix, help. Okay, this HD equality high, they for creating the high quality videos, right? They'll be using the Python. Okay, so these are all the different companies, giants, which will be using Python nowadays. Got it? And so where you will use Python? What are the applications, where you will use Python? Generally, you guys are working in different domains, right? In testing purpose, we'll be using Python, web scraping, for web development to data analysis, analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, okay, data science, okay, Python based Python certification training for data science. So many you will be using data scientist. Most of the time Python is very popular in these particular applications, right? So what are some of the applications? Like in testing you will be using, for web development also you can use, for data analysis, data science scientist also you will be using, web scraping purpose also you will be using, okay, this Python. So lot of jobs are there for Python nowadays, okay. So not only this, this is what the three things need of programming: companies using Python, and applications where Python is used. Got it? And why we need to learn this Python? So many other languages are also there, right? Okay, Java is also there, C++ is also there. Why we need to use this Python only? Let me give you some introduction about this one. Okay, one second. See, generally, platform dependent, okay, platform independent. I'll tell you, okay. Uh, what is platform generally? It's a software and hardware environment where you can run your applications or programs. That we'll be calling it as a platform. So wherever you can run your applications or programs, okay. So combination of both software and hardware environment is nothing but platform. So we have two types of platforms. One is dependent and another one is independent. Say example, you have developed one application. So that application, you can run in one operating system and it will unable to run in another operating system. That we will be calling it as platform dependent applications. Sorry. Okay. So you have developed one application. Say example, if you develop some applications using C, so that will be executed only in one OS, not in other systems, right? So that if you want to develop a platform dependent applications, obviously you need platform dependent programming languages, right? So coming to the platform independent, if an application runs in one OS, able to run in another OS also, then it is known as a platform independent applications. So to develop this type of platform independent applications, we need platform independent programming languages like Java and Python. Got it? So generally, in the C language, we'll write programs using functions. Got it? Modules. Functions will be there now in C language. Most of the time, you will be writing programs in C language using functions. Got it? So coming to the Java. So generally, Java and Python are object-oriented programming languages. We cannot call C as an object-oriented programming language. So generally, which language will call it as object-oriented programming language means if any of the language follows or obeys object-oriented programming concepts like encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. Okay, so see, whenever it will follows all these object-oriented programming concepts, then that language is known as object-oriented programming language. Further, I will discuss about each and every topic very clearly. This is just a demo. I'm just explaining in brief about all this. Okay. So Java and Python are object-oriented programming languages because they follow OOPS concepts. Got it? But Python, coming to the Python, Python is both functional programming plus object-oriented programming. Now you will get one out. What is functional programming? Mathematical formulas it will follow. Okay. Functional programming means what? See, where you can apply, see, you will be using functions. Okay, functional program is generally based on mathematical functions. So this, some examples are like no Lisp, Python, Haskell, like that. No, so many functional programming languages are there. But Python is not purely functional programming. It is functional as well as object-oriented programming. But whereas when you come to the Haskell, it is a purely functional language. It is based on mathematical functions. Okay, got it? Understood? So Python is not fully functional. It supports functional programming, and also it is an object-oriented programming language. Okay. So next I will explain what is functional programming, what is object-oriented programming, what are the different paradigms, programming paradigms available. Everything I will explain it in the tomorrow's session. Okay. So now let me continue this. So Java is object-oriented, C is what known as high level language, middle level language, functional language, because it uses it is not a functional programming language. C is not a functional programming language. It uses functions. Okay, but Java is object oriented, whereas when you come to the Python, it is both the functional plus object oriented programming language. Got it? So let me explain a small scenario. Okay, you have to print some hello world, or if you want to add something. Okay, how can you write a C program? Let's see here. This is a C program where I'm taking three variables. I have included the header files. I just want to take three numbers, three variables. I mean, I just want to add two numbers, and I want to print the addition of two numbers. For that, I wrote this program in C. So like no, I have written like this header files. I included the main function and I declared the variables. I have cleared the screen. I have stored some number into the AB variables. I added and stored that result into C, and by using the printf function, that is an output function where you can print something onto the output screen, output console, and you are printing that addition of two numbers onto the output screen. Yes. The same thing when you do it in Java, how to write? Simple. Java is purely object oriented now. Compulsory you have to use a class, right? Class addition. Okay. So you have taken one class, you have written the main method, public static void main string aux, like that. Compulsory you need to write it, and you have declared the variables, stored the data, added, and printing using system.out.println. The same thing, when you want to do it in Python, it's very easy. It will follow the normal English words and everything. Like no, you have stored a is equals to b is equals to 10, print sum. That's it. That's done. That means most of the length of the code will be reduced in Python. Got it? So this is a small difference, what called as encoding, when compared to C, Java, and Python. So developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. That name, Python name, came from Monty Python's Flying Circus. Okay. So what is a logo of Python? Intertwined snakes, right? So that is a logo of Python. Okay. Generally, some people have some idea about Java. So Java compiler, bytecode. What is bytecode? Java virtual machine you will be using. But same thing here also in Python. We have Python compiler, Python code, Python bytecode, Python virtual machine is there. Okay, what is JVM? What is PVM? Any difference in that? JVM means Java virtual machine. PVM means Python virtual machine. Got it? So what are bytecode instructions? Okay. So how it will get executed, everything I'll explain it in the tomorrow's session. Okay, not now, in the tomorrow's session I'll explain it. Okay, understood? Got it? Any doubt here? What I explained for today's session, just need of programming, why we need programming. Okay, if there is no programming, what are the problems? I have taken some few scenarios I explained. Okay, and what are the companies using Python, or where, in which areas you are going to use Python, who developed Python, and how you will write a program in Python when compared to C and Java. Okay, what's the difference? A C program, Java program, and Python program, that I explained. Got it? And tomorrow's topic is very, very important, where I'm going to explain why Python. Why especially you are focusing on Python? Compulsory some special features are there, no, for Python, like it's easy to learn, okay, highly interpreted, like that, so many features are there. See, easy to learn, open source, high level, dynamically typed, platform independent, portable, so many features are there. These are all the features tomorrow we are going to explain. Okay, and first of all, I'll explain this this PVM, JVM, how Python code will get executed, what is Python interpreter, what that Python interpreter will do actually, exactly what it will do internally. Everything we'll discuss